Boogeyman band coming round the bend. Is Boogeyman band. Is Boogeyman band.
Greetings, my fellow fiends, and thanks so much for dropping by the Horror Zone channel. I hope everyone's doing well. Today's video is going to be, of course, talking about Jeepers Creepers Reborn, the fourth film in the Jeepers Creepers franchise. Of course, this film is not directed or written by Victor Salva, who created this character and this franchise. This has been directed by Timo Valensola. I did see the film this evening, and here's my tickets for it. My wife and I went and saw it. First thing I want to get into is just the plot of the film, and then we'll go into a little bit of trivia, and then I will give my thoughts on the finished product. Forced to travel with her boyfriend to the Horror Hound Festival, Lane begins to experience premonitions associated with the urban myth of the Creeper. She believes that something supernatural has been summoned and that she is the center of it all. The movie stars Sidney Craven as Lane, Imran Adams as Chase, Jaru Benjamin as the Creeper, Matt Barkley as Jamie, Peter Brooks as Stu. The movie was written by Sean Michael Argo and directed by Timo Valensola. So a little trivia on the production. The production photography commenced for 3 days in Jackson, Louisiana on location and at Orwo Studios. Soon after, the production was moved to the United Kingdom. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, filming in the UK was split into two parts. The first began on November 23rd, 2020 at Black Hanger Studios and finished on December 19th. The second took place for 8 days between January and February of 2021. The film's title was officially confirmed as Jeepers Creepers Reborn in February of 2021, where Screen Media Films acquired worldwide distribution rights after previously releasing Jeepers Creepers 3 in 2017. And the film is being released in select theaters in the United States from September 19th through September 21st, 2022 by Screen Media Films in partnership with Fathom Events. The film's release was questioned after Mirrored Pictures filed a property fraud lawsuit on March 16th of 2021 against Infinity Films Holdings, one of the film's production companies, for allegedly producing the film without Mirrored's knowledge or involvement and for selling the distribution rights to Screen Media. The artistic design used for the Creeper in this movie is strongly inspired by the gothic art made by Cooper Ball for some of the covers of the Jeepers Creepers comics, based on the covers of the comics 3, 4, and 5. First Jeepers Creepers, where Jonathan Breck, who played the Creeper in the first three films, did not reprise the role. Instead, the Creeper was played by Jaru Benjamin. Breck's absence was due to the fact that the film was filmed in both the United Kingdom and had no relationship with the actors' labor union in which Breck belongs, added to the fact that it was filmed in the middle of the COVID-19 pandemic, where the production suffered with the constant cancellations of international flights and modifications of biosafety protocols, which made it easier to hire another actor. A new version of the musical theme Jeepers Creepers had to be made because Screen Gem Films did not have the license or permissions to use the song Jeepers Creepers by Jack Teagarden. This because royalties had to be paid to the owner of the song rights. Said song has not been heard in the Jeepers Creepers movie since the first movie. This is because previously they did not want to pay royalties on Jeepers Creepers 2 and Jeepers Creepers 3. The new version of the song is more focused on classic New Orleans jazz. So, without beating around the bush, what did I think of the film? This is my least favorite film in the franchise. I had a lot of problems with certain things. I thought some of the changes they made to the Creeper mythos were strange, and I didn't think they worked very well. I feel like you already have an established lore with this character, and to do some of the things that they did in this film felt a little foolish. But because I like to talk about things that I enjoy first, I'm going to talk about what I liked about the film. Number one, I actually really enjoyed Sidney Craven and Imran Adams as Lane and Chase. I thought they were interesting. Yeah, some of their dialogue was goofy and corny, but I still thought that both actors did a commendable job in those roles. I also thought there was some good atmospheric, almost gothic scenes at night that I thought were really good. I mean, with the moon and the woods and everything. I thought it really came off well. A lot of people griped about Jeepers Creepers 3 being shot in the daylight, and too much daylight, not enough night action with the Creeper in silhouette and things like that, which was so prominent in the first two films. And I thought that they brought some of that back. The Creeper is in shadows a lot of the time. You don't really see a full look at his makeup all the time. He's always kind of silhouetted and dark, and I thought that was really good. I also thought the gore in this was good. I've heard so many people say that there's not enough gore, the Creeper doesn't kill enough people. I felt like this was on par with some of the other films. Also, while I did have some issues with the Horror Hound event, I thought it was kind of cool seeing people dressed up like Michael Myers and Jason and Pennywise. It was fun. Again, they had a limited budget. They had, they can only have so many people together at a time because of COVID restrictions. So I thought for what they had to work with, what they were trying to convey, I have positives and negatives with the Horror Hound event, but for the most part, I want to say I feel like they did try to sort of bring that horror festival convention kind of presence to this film, and I think they did a commendable job for the limitations that they have. For the stuff that I'm negative on, or just stuff that didn't work for me, number one, and this is no disrespect to Jaru Benjamin as the Creeper, I really miss Jonathan Brack, and like I said, no disrespect to that actor, but he's not the Creeper. I know this is a new take on the character, a new vision, a new possibly trilogy if this proves to be successful, and I don't know if it's going to at all, just based on initial reactions, but watching it, it looked like somebody impersonating the Creeper as opposed to it being the Creeper. So that was like the biggest problem for me watching this film, and I'm not trying to be mean at all, but that's just how I honestly felt being a fan of this franchise for over 21 years. The other thing that people have talked about is the green screen. It was obvious that they were using a green screen, and many shots, like when they're in the cemetery, when they're getting out of cars, when you see the house in the distance, it was so obvious in spots. It just looked like a cartoon background behind them. In some spots, when there was like a lot of action going on, it wasn't as noticeable, but if it was just two characters like talking in a scene, it was so obvious that it was a green screen. So that was something I wish they could have cleaned up a little bit before it was released. The other big negative for me, and this one really just sort of, I had a big, really big question mark about this one, was the use of the Creeper truck. It's barely in it, and for what they utilized it for, I thought it was a waste. Why even have it in the film? Like I said, I'm not going to... You can look at any other YouTuber pretty much that hated this film that will tell you the entire plot of the film. I'm not going to do it, but for how important a character that truck is to me, to see it in this film and the way that it was utilized was just a joke. The music by Even Livingston, I thought was just forgettable. There was nothing about that score that stood out to me. Andrew Morgan Smith did a commendable job on trying to fill in Bennett Salve's score for Jeepers Creepers 3. So I thought at least that one had some moments that reminded me of that the score for the original two films. But the score for this one was just completely forgettable. The opening of the film was very weird. As you have Dee Wallace and Gary Graham. I just thought it didn't work. It just started the whole movie on a weird note, and I just didn't really think it was executed very well. This is not the worst film I've seen. This is a film that did keep me entertained. I did like a lot of elements about it. I do think they made some strange choices. I do think some of the characters worked. A lot of the characters didn't. I didn't like the way the Creeper looked. I didn't like the new, even though they were going for the comic book look of the Creeper, I didn't think it worked. And I just, without Jonathan Brack in that role, it just didn't mean as much to me. So yeah, like I said, at the end of the day, I didn't love it. I didn't absolutely hate it. It's okay. It's not great. There was a lot of problems with it. It is absolutely my least favorite film in the series. I don't think this is going to kickstart a franchise. I really feel like at this point, they almost should just let the franchise lie. And I hate saying that because I'm such a big fan of the first three films, especially this one. The original is a classic. It's still great. Amazing film to watch. Say what you want about Salvo, but he knows how to write, he knows how to direct. But the other thing you got to take into consideration is you had a fantastic cast. Gina Phillips and Justin Long are amazing. Jonathan Brack is amazing. Also, Dom Fauntleroy, who had worked on films like Terminator 2. Having these elements in this film, and the music by Bennett Salvo, the location, everything about this film just works. It works so well for me. And as much as I like, the other two films Salvo would helm, nothing will beat this film. It still impacts me just like it did when I first saw it in the summer of 2001. And I really think it's kind of one of those things that was lightning in a bottle. I don't think you're going to get it again. And yeah, so that is my review of Jeepers Creepers Reborn. If I had to give it a rating on my scale, I would give Jeepers Creepers Reborn 2 skulls. So again, thank you so much for stopping by. I hope everyone's doing well. Like I said, I'm sure that a lot of people are going to disagree with what I said, and that's fine. Please don't be nasty on this channel, though. Don't agree with what I said, that's completely fine. You have every right to your opinion. This is my opinion. I'm not saying it's scripture for anybody else but me. This is how I feel about the new film. It's not great, not at all, not by a long shot, but I wasn't bored. I was entertained by it. Could it have been better? Absolutely. But, you know, I'm glad I saw it, and it's one that I would revisit. So thanks so much again for stopping by the Horror Zone channel. And stay tuned for some really great horror content that I will have coming up very, very soon. So take it easy. Stay scared as always. Peace. Hey fellow Fright Fiends, just want to say thank you again for supporting Boogeyman Ben's Horror Zone. If you're brand new to the channel and you haven't yet subscribed, please hit the subscribe button down below, hit the bell notification so you're updated every time I drop a new video. I typically do this once or twice a week with new content. I've been doing this for over 11 years, and the horror genre is a passion of mine, and it really means a lot to me that I can share that passion with all of you guys. Thanks so much again for the support, and I'll talk to you again later. Take it easy, stay scared as always.